Today's episode is brought to you by Palmtran. Today, Palmtran is better than ever, providing over 9 million rides per year. Palmtran travels to every major destination in Palm Beach County, from Jupiter to Boca Raton and from Palm Beach to the Glades. To learn more, visit palmtran.org. Hello, my name is Abby Maloney, and you're watching Invest Insights, where we introduce you to thought leaders who are shaping our communities today. In today's episode, I speak with Raphael Clemente, the Executive Director of the West Palm Beach Downtown Development Authority. Raphael, in August of this year, the DDA announced its grants program to local businesses who have been affected by the pandemic. Can you tell us about the Tier 1 grant program and how it was received by local businesses? And do you plan on more rounds of funding?
Yes, Abby, we launched the Tier 1 grant program, which is a rental assistance program to help offset the cost of all or a portion of a downtown business's rent. It was very well received. As you can imagine, everyone, particularly restaurants, were hard hit by COVID restrictions. So our intention with the program was to be able to keep them whole, keep them in place for, ideally through the entire pandemic until they could, again, get back on their feet with regular levels of patronage and regular levels of occupancy. It was very well received. We went right through our first allocation of funding, and the DDA board actually did agree recently at our last board meeting to allocate additional funds to the program so we can continue to provide that assistance to our downtown community.
Cities and governments and authorities have been struggling with funding, getting the appropriate amount out to businesses because this has been a truly unique experience that many are going through for the very first time. Were there particular lessons that you learned either through watching others initiate their rounds of funding or through this first round of funding that you will bring forward with you?
Oh boy, did we learn lessons, right? We learned that you have to be nimble and ready to abandon this is how we've always done it mentality. We were able to move quickly. We're a special district as a downtown development authority. We are small and mission specific to our downtown community, so it is easy for us to pivot quickly. We reallocated some portions of our budget to free up more money into business assistance programs versus other things that, frankly, we weren't using the money for because we were not even able to implement those programs during this time. What did I see that maybe we wouldn't have done? I think keeping the application process and the approval process as streamlined as possible and as expedient and timely as possible, while still obviously, being a good steward of funds. We're public, so we have to really, we really have to watch and manage our funds carefully. But keeping the application process as simple and straightforward as possible, I think meant a lot to our merchants who were already, just hanging on by their fingernails in many cases. So the easier we could make it for them, the better. And we were proud to be able to do that.
In the initial months of the pandemic, the DDA produced programs like the Downtown To Go program. Tell us a little bit more about why you started certain initiatives and how it snowballed into other initiatives through listening to the needs of the community.
Sure. Well, the Downtown To Go program was the very first, right out of the gate, as soon as we learned that restaurants would be restricted in how they could operate, shut down initially, obviously. So the Downtown To Go program was our way of marketing the fact that many or most of our businesses were still open, even though they couldn't have customers inside. And we were promoting who was doing curbside pickup, who was doing delivery, how you could order, et cetera, not only on our website, but through our social media, through our newsletter, just the word out so the community at large knew, yes, you can still get lunch, dinner, breakfast, et cetera, from, or even retail goods from these merchants in our district. From there, we started, once we knew restaurants would be able to open for business, we started working with the city of West Palm Beach to create a program that would allow expanded dining areas outside, sidewalks, alleyways, public spaces, even parking lots, to replace the lost interior space that COVID, occupancy guidelines mandated 25% occupancy. And if you can imagine, if you're paying rent on 4,000 or 5,000 square feet, but you can't use but 25% of that, there has to be a relief valve. And thankfully, the public realm became that in downtown. And the dining on the spot program helped about 40 or so businesses throughout the downtown area. And we offset the cost of the first 2 months of that program. And once those businesses got accustomed to it and were able to take it over themselves, they just went and entered into a direct relationship with the rental company that provided all the tables, chairs, tents, umbrellas, everything. That was Grimes Party and Equipment Rentals. So they've been a tremendous partner and helped us a lot by their ability to just react quickly and respond to what we were asking for.
What about sanitation programs? How have you worked with the local business community to get them ready for this new environment that we find ourselves in terms of cleanliness and touchable surfaces?
Yeah, that was a big deal because obviously you can make a nice place and an inviting environment for people to come enjoy themselves in, but if they don't feel safe doing that, naturally they won't. So we worked with a professional cleaning company to create a program, tailored a program for us to train our businesses how to do COVID safe cleaning. Perhaps that's a new term or will be a new term, but how to sanitize surfaces, how to safely use and discard of PPE, how to make sure your customers are spaced out, and even how to communicate these things to your customers, and to be sure that your staff all know these are the very important protocols that we have to adhere to right now. That was a very well received program. We provided it, to anyone who wanted to take it, honestly, just to be sure that we, in addition to providing the opportunity for customers to patronize, to be sure that the restaurateurs had every resource possible to keep people safe, their staff and their customers as well.
We've been talking to CEOs a lot about innovation. Are there innovations that you're noticing that the business community is starting to implement to get them through this pandemic? Or are there feedback from the business community that you're hearing on innovations needed to get to a safe landing in a post-pandemic world?
Absolutely, Abby. I think every bit of this has been about innovation and, under duress. So it's like a pressure cooker for everyone. And the innovations I've seen naturally can menus be changed? Can point of sale systems be adapted to be online and easy to use? How are people marketing themselves? How are they presenting their products or their services in a way that makes people feel safe and comfortable using them? The dialogue with our business community has been good. We always strive to have a very open line of communication with our stakeholder group. That's how we learn the most. That's how we understand our district the best. So there has been a very open and free flow information back and forth between the stakeholder group, the Downtown Development Authority, the city, about their needs and about how we can help them. And I think the biggest, if I was to boil it down and summarize what we've heard back, is please be flexible with us and please allow us opportunities to do what we need to do within, obviously within guidelines. Life safety is first and foremost, but how much can we reasonably relax codes or requirements so businesses can adapt and change and flex to address the current situation? As I've been saying throughout this entire time, it's a heck of a lot easier to keep businesses in your district than it is to recruit new ones. And that's, that helps everyone. It helps obviously our existing merchants, but our landlords, our property owners, keeping tenants in place, good rent paying tenants in place is critical for them. So we are as determined as ever to provide any resource that we possibly can to support our community right now.
It still is too soon to know the full economic impact of the coronavirus on the United States. And we are watching the unemployment rate drop from a high unemployment rate. It's still relatively high, but not as high as it was in the beginning of the pandemic. But we do have a ways to go. Do you believe that West Palm Beach is well suited to make it through the pandemic? And if so, how so?
I really do, and for a few reasons. Um, West Palm, particularly the downtown core, is a very inviting, comfortable, charming place. The public realm, the public spaces, our outdoor air environment has been designed for years now with a focus on being people friendly. It's walkable, it's got shade, it's got great open spaces. And as we know, there is a very strong preference toward outdoor events, outdoor activities, outdoor dining. So I think just by the virtue of how our downtown has been built and maintained over the past, few decades now, it positions us well to be a place where people want to be, where they will choose to be. I also believe that as we start to see cooler weather hit the Northeast, New York, Canada, Chicago, if you're working from home and you're in your 1 or 2 bedroom apartment already, working in your dining room, and it's 10 degrees outside, you're not going to pack into a pub or a cafe to go have a meal or a beer with friends. You're probably not going to spend that much time outside in uncomfortable weather conditions. I feel like we're going to capture a lot of people, particularly professionals, that are going to say, if I'm already working from home, why don't I go work from home in a place where I can at least live outside and be outside and have more and better opportunities to have whatever interaction I can have safely, and whatever enjoyment, exercise, et cetera, I can do safely versus suffering through a winter in the Northeast or, wherever that may be, cooped up in an apartment.
We've talked a bit about the challenges that you've observed in the local business community. And so I wanted to ask you your own personal experience of the past number of months. What have they taught you about resilience?
I've been at the DDA for 15 years now. I feel like it's the most rewarding job that I could ask for, because I get to work with the men and women that make this town happen. And I have never seen or felt or experienced as much determination and commitment and cohesion from a community as I have seen since March of 2020. And it has truly been inspiring and motivating to play this small role that the team here at the DDA and I have played to support our community, and the investors, the business people, the staff. Everybody has really shown their very best, and I'm just proud to be part of the community. And I've learned that when the sky's falling, everybody needs to pull together, and that's what has happened here.
Well, thank you again. That was Raphael Clemente, the Executive Director of the West Palm Beach Downtown Development Authority. This episode was brought to you today by PalmTran. More information can be seen in the description below. My name is Abby Maloney, and you've been watching Invest Insights. Thanks for tuning in. Hey everyone, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can stay up to date on the latest business trends from our knowledgeable experts. Be sure to check out the description below for more information on the segment you just watched. Thanks for tuning in.